Books and the Man, Number 3, The Firm of Quaritch. From the November 21, 1919, issue of the Bookman's Journal and Print Collector. Collectors all over the world look forward with keen pleasure to the catalogues which come from the shop of Bernard Quaritch, Limited, in Grafton Street. The fortunate ones who visit the shop in person are always charmed by the fine array of treasures by which they are surrounded. Many are the collectors who can remember the days when the founder of the firm, Bernard Quaritch, used to sit at the far end of the shop, which in those days was at number 15, Piccadilly. As he sat there, all below the ample lower chest hidden by the table, his arms folded in front of him, his broad shoulders surmounted by a large head, with florid face and bright, dark eyes, set on thick short neck. One felt it an apt simile when a visitor, commenting on the impressive figure, remarked, "It's just like a large image of Buddha." There was indeed much of the placid, immobile, inscrutable being, which is seen, portrayed in many representations of the Blessed One. But when the still figure awoke into life, say at the entrance of some one of the many clients, the semblance vanished and one saw a 20th century, alert, courteous gentleman, with the unmistakable stamp of the British public school. The blunt independence of the father gave place in the son to suave diplomacy, though there was never any hint of servility, no matter how august the visitor might be. Between Bernard Quaritch the elder and his son and successor there was a wide difference both in personality and its expression. Yet both were without doubt men of signal gifts. The son was no unworthy successor of the father. He had a wonderful, instinctive, knowledge of the books, being able almost invariably to name the market value of a book which perhaps he had never seen before. He had also a marvelous memory for his huge stock. A book would turn up in a sale catalogue. "Ah," he would say, "I remember we had a copy of that, bound in full morocco, in 1895, it was sold the following year to so-and-so." He was a frequent visitor to America, and had many tales to tell of famous American collectors. Once he sold a very rarely printed book to one such, and visiting his library a year later glanced round, expecting to find it in a place of honor. Seeing no sign of it, he inquired where it was. The collector replied that he had no recollection of buying the book in question. B.Q. kept silence, but continued his search furtively. Shortly before leaving he spied an unopened parcel in a corner on the floor. It bore his label. It was the missing book. Such is the fate, at times, of books for which our public libraries long in vain. To his staff he was courteous and considerate, and among his many friends he had the reputation of being a thorough good fellow. In the trade he was recognized as the bookseller of his time, and his comparatively early death left a big gap in the world of books. As all know, the business is now a limited company. The personnel, with few exceptions, remains as it was at the time of Mr. Quaritch's death. Thus, though the head is gone, the place retains much of its old distinction and uniqueness. And the doings of Quaritches, particularly in the auction room, are still matters of interest and consequence in the profession, which has been honored by the two Quaritches, Bernard the founder and Bernard Alfred the developer.